Hello, beautiful and strong seniors, and welcome back to your channel. If you are one of the approximately 75 million Americans currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits, disability benefits through SSDI, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, or supplemental security income through SSI, then I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now, and I need you to watch this video from beginning to end. Because what I am about to share with you today is genuinely one of the most important things you can hear this month. I'm talking about your April 2026 payment schedule. And before you scroll past thinking you already know when you get paid, I need you to hear me out because this April is setting up in a way that is actually finally genuinely working in your favor. And in a year where every single dollar and every single day matters more than ever before, that is something worth celebrating together. We have not had a setup this good in several months. And I'm going to break it all down for you today in a way that is clear, specific, and actionable. So please do not click away. Stay right here with me. Check your calendar. Make sure you have this information saved. And most importantly, share this with every senior you know who deserves to receive their money on time and understand exactly when it is coming. Now, today we are covering quite a bit of ground together, and I want to be upfront with you because that is what this channel is all about. We are covering the full Social Security payment schedule for April 2026, and that includes every single category of beneficiary, whether you are on retirement, SSDI, SSI, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, or concurrent claims. We are talking about specific dates, and I mean exact calendar dates because vague information does not help you pay your rent on time. We are also going to talk about why the payment calendar matters so dramatically from one month to the next, why April 2026 is actually one of the best setups we have seen in a while, what determines when your specific payment arrives based on your birth date, and why even a difference of 1 or 2 days in your payment arrival can be the difference between keeping the lights on and falling behind. On top of that, I want to acknowledge something very important about what so many of you in this community are going through right now during what I am already starting to call the year of affordability. Because let's be honest, 2026 has been a challenging year financially for a whole lot of you, and you deserve real information delivered plainly by someone who actually cares about your financial well-being. So yes, we are covering all of that today. Stick with me until the very end because the most important details are layered throughout this video, and you do not want to miss a single one of them. But before we get into the heavy lifting here, before we dig into all of those dates and details, I have one very simple and very important question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer. When it comes to your Social Security payment, which concern is the biggest for you right now in 2026? Is it option A, the timing, meaning you just really need to know exactly what day that money is hitting so you can plan your bills, your groceries, your medication, everything around that specific date? Or is it option B, the amount, meaning you are more worried about whether your payment is enough to cover your basic living expenses in today's economy? Or maybe it is option C, and this one I hear a lot. You are worried about potential changes, cuts, or adjustments coming to your benefits down the road, and you just want to stay informed before anything catches you off guard. Please drop your answer in the comment section right below this video. Just type A, B, or C. Or feel free to write it all out if you want, because our team literally reads through every single comment, every single one. And the reason we ask these questions is because your answers directly shape what we research next. When we see hundreds of comments saying the same thing, we know exactly what video to produce next to best serve you and this community. So please take 10 seconds right now, pause, drop that comment, and then come right back because we are just getting started. All right, so let's talk about April 2026 and why this payment schedule is genuinely exciting news. Now, here's the thing about the Social Security payment calendar that a lot of people do not fully appreciate. And I hear this in the comments all the time. People say, I already know when I get paid. And yes, okay, I hear you. I understand that. You know your day. But here is what people sometimes miss, and this is critically important. The actual calendar dates on which your payment arrives change every single month. Every single month. It is not fixed. It is not the same date in April as it was in March or February or January. The Social Security Administration pays benefits on a rolling Wednesday schedule, and the specific Wednesdays of any given month shift dramatically depending on what day the first of that month falls on. And that difference, that shift, can sometimes mean you are getting paid 4, 5, even 6 days later or earlier than the previous month. In the year of affordability, during a time when inflation is still biting, when grocery bills have not come back down to where any of us want them, when utility bills keep climbing, and when prescription costs remain a real burden for millions of seniors, even 1 day matters, 2 days matters, 5 days matters enormously. So when I tell you that April 2026 is setting up with one of the best payment schedules we have seen in a long time, I genuinely mean that this is good news worth understanding deeply. Here is why April 2026 is so favorable. And let me paint this picture clearly for you. April 1st, 2026 falls on a Wednesday. Now, for those of you who might not immediately grasp why that is significant, let me explain this in plain English. The entire Social Security payment schedule for any given month is anchored by what day the first of that month falls on. When the first lands on a Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month comes early, the third Wednesday comes early, and the fourth Wednesday comes early. The whole schedule gets pulled forward. And that means everybody across every benefit category ends up getting paid earlier in the month than usual. Contrast that with months where the first falls on a Friday or a Saturday or near a holiday, and suddenly the Wednesdays push back further and further into the calendar. That is how you end up getting paid 6 or 7 days later than you did the month before. And that can genuinely cause financial chaos in a household operating on a tight fixed income. But in April 2026, we do not have that problem. The stars have aligned, so to speak, and the payment dates are front-loaded beautifully across the entire month. Now, let us start walking through the specific payment dates for April 2026. And I want to go group by group so that nobody is confused about where they fall and when their money is coming. The very first payment date in April is April 1st, 2026, which is a Wednesday. Now, normally I would pause here and mention holidays, but April 1st is April Fool's Day, which is very much not a federal holiday. So, there is no delay, no push, no complications. The Social Security Administration will be fully operational and SSI payments will go out on that day. Now, here is something I want to point out because it is actually worth noting in the broader context of recent months. SSI beneficiaries have been getting paid early, as in paid in the final days of the previous month, for several months running. Now, that happened in December. It happened at the end of January. It happened at the end of February. All because the first of those subsequent months kept landing on weekends or federal holidays, which pushes SSI payments back to the last business day of the prior month. But in April 2026, that situation changes. April 1st is a clean Wednesday, no complications, and SSI beneficiaries receive their payment directly on that date without any advanced payment games. That is clean, that is simple, and that is exactly what beneficiaries need during a time when predictability and cash flow is everything. Moving forward just a couple of days to April 3rd, 2026, which is a Friday. This date is critically important for a specific and often misunderstood group of Social Security beneficiaries, and I want to make sure you know if this applies to you. If you began receiving your Social Security benefits before May of 1997, your payment does not follow the Wednesday schedule that most people are familiar with. Instead, your payment comes on the third of every month, no matter what. Additionally, if you are what is called a concurrent beneficiary, meaning you receive both SSI and Social Security benefits at the same time, which is also sometimes called dual entitlement. Your payment also comes on the third of the month. So April 3rd, a Friday, is a very significant payment date. If either of those descriptions apply to you, mark April 3rd on your calendar right now, circle it, write it on a sticky note, put it on your refrigerator because that is your date. And the great news is that April 3rd is a Friday, which means it is a full business day with no federal holiday complications and no weekend interference. Your payment will be on time and on track. Now, here is where April 2026 really starts to shine and where I want you to pay close attention if you are on the standard Wednesday birth date payment schedule. For those of you whose birthday, meaning the day of the month you were born, not the year, falls between the 1st and the 10th, your Social Security payment arrives on the second Wednesday of April 2026, which is April 8th, 8 days into the month. That is really early. Think about that for a second. If your birthday is any day from the 1st through the 10th of the month, regardless of what month or year you were born, your April 2026 payment lands on April 8th. Now, compare that to months where the schedule is pushed back and the second Wednesday falls on the 12th, 13th, or even 14th of the month. That is a difference of nearly a week in some cases. In the year of affordability, that week matters enormously. Groceries purchased on April 8th versus April 14th. That is rent paid on time versus late. That is medication picked up on time versus skipping a day. I do not want to be dramatic about this, but I also do not want to minimize it because I know that for millions of seniors on fixed incomes, that difference is very real and very significant. So, if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, April 8th is your date, and it is a great one. For those of you whose birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th of the month, your payment arrives on the third Wednesday of April 2026, which is April 15th, right in the middle of the month, April 15th, a clean Wednesday with no interference from holidays or weekends. This is also a remarkably clean date for this particular group. In some months, the third Wednesday can be pushed all the way out to the 17th, 18th, or even 19th of the month. But in April 2026, it lands right on the 15th, which means this group is getting paid earlier in the month than they have been getting paid in recent months. And again, I want to emphasize something here. When you are on a fixed income and you are trying to manage bills, groceries, medications, utilities, and all of the basic living expenses that come with modern life in 2026, knowing that your payment is coming on April 15th rather than April 19th or April 20th is not a minor detail. That is financial planning information that can change how you manage your entire month. So please write this down. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th, your date is April 15th. And then for those of you whose birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st of the month, which, by the way, includes quite a large portion of beneficiaries since it covers 11 days at the end of the month. Your payment arrives on the fourth Wednesday of April 2026, and that date is April 22nd. April 22nd. Now, again, let's put this in context. In some months, the fourth Wednesday can fall as late as the 24th or 25th of the month, but in April 2026, it is the 22nd, which means even this last group, the group that traditionally waits the longest to receive their payment, is getting paid earlier than average this month. That is significant. That is genuinely good news. And I want you to feel that good news because we have been dealing with a lot of challenging months and a lot of difficult financial situations in this community. And when something is legitimately working in our favor, I think we should acknowledge it and plan around it. So, April 22nd, if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, that is your date. Mark it, plan around it, and know that it is coming earlier than it would in most other months. Now, there is technically a fifth Wednesday in April 2026, and that is April 29th. But I want to be transparent with you here, as I always try to be. There are no standard Social Security payment groups that get paid on the fifth Wednesday. The 5 primary payment dates for April 2026 are April 1st for SSI, April 3rd for pre-May, 1997 recipients and concurrent beneficiaries, April 8th for birth dates the 1st through the 10th, April 15th for birth dates the 11th through the 20th, and April 22nd for birth dates the 21st through the 31st. That fifth Wednesday on the 29th is simply a calendar occurrence and not a payment date. You need to concern yourself with, I just want to make sure that is crystal clear so nobody is sitting around waiting for something on April 29th that is not coming. I also want to spend a moment talking about something that is really important to understand in the bigger picture of your Social Security benefits, and that is the concept of payment predictability and financial planning. Here in 2026, we are watching a lot of conversations happening at the national level about affordability, about inflation, about the cost of living, about whether Social Security is keeping up with what seniors actually need. The COLA adjustment for 2026 came through. And while any increase is better than no increase, many of you have reached out to tell me that it still does not feel like enough. And I hear that. I want you to know that I hear that very clearly. When your grocery bill has gone up significantly, when your utility costs have climbed, when your Medicare premiums take a bite out of your monthly check, a COLA that feels modest can sometimes feel almost invisible. And that is why knowing your exact payment schedule, maximizing every single day of your monthly income cycle, and staying informed about every possible benefit, adjustment, or resource available to you becomes so critically important. Something else that has been coming up tremendously in the community comment section over the last several months, and I want to address it directly because it affects a very large portion of this audience. Many of you are on Medicare, and I have been receiving an absolutely enormous volume of comments from people in this community who have been reaching out and finding better Medicare plans, better coverages, and significantly better pricing just by taking a simple action. I have literally stacks of printed comments sitting here with me, pages and pages of people sharing their experiences. And the number that stands out to me the most is this. This community collectively has saved over $2 million simply by making a phone call to get help understanding their Medicare options. That is $2 million in savings across this community of seniors. And every single one of those stories represents a real person, a real household, a real senior who is now paying less and getting more. If you are on Medicare, if you have questions about your current plan, if you are wondering whether there is a better option out there for your specific needs, I strongly encourage you to take action on that. It is completely free to get that kind of guidance, and the potential savings can genuinely transform your monthly budget. After you do make that call and get some help, I want you to drop a comment below using the word chapter so that our team can find your comment quickly and know that you reached out. We want to hear how it went. We want to celebrate your savings with you. And if you save money, I genuinely want to give you a shout out in a future video and add your name to this ever-growing list of community members who took control of their Medicare situation. Now, let me also speak to something that I know a lot of you are feeling right now, but may not be saying out loud, and that is the genuine stress and anxiety that comes with living on a fixed income in the economic environment of 2026. I have been watching the conversations in the comments. I have been reading your messages, and I know that for many of you, the period between payment dates can feel incredibly long. I know that when a payment comes later than expected because the calendar shifted, it is not just an inconvenience. It is a crisis. It is a decision between this bill or that medication. It is a moment of genuine fear about whether you are going to be okay. And I want you to know that if you have ever felt that way, you are not alone. And there is absolutely no shame in it. Millions of Americans who dedicated their entire working lives to this country, who paid into this system for decades, who served their families, their communities, and their nation, are now navigating a financial landscape that is genuinely difficult. And acknowledging that, honestly, is not weakness. It is reality. And the only way we get through it is by staying informed, by staying connected, and by making sure that we are using every tool, every resource, and every piece of information available to us. That is what this channel is here for, and that is what I am committed to delivering for you every single time I sit down to make a video. There is also an important conversation happening in Washington right now about the long-term sustainability and structure of Social Security that I want to briefly touch on because it is something many of you are asking about. In 2026, there are ongoing discussions at the federal level about potential modifications to the Social Security program, including conversations about adjusting benefit calculations, modifying eligibility timelines, and reviewing the overall financial trajectory of the Social Security trust funds. Now, I want to be very careful here and very honest with you. As of the recording of this video, no confirmed legislation has passed that would immediately cut or eliminate your existing Social Security benefits. However, the conversations are real. They are active and they are something that every single beneficiary in this country should be paying close attention to because historically changes to Social Security have sometimes happened with less notice and less fanfare than people expect. And the best protection you have is information. Stay subscribed to this channel. Stay engaged in these videos because when something changes, I will be here to tell you about it immediately in plain English with specific numbers and specific dates so that you always know exactly where you stand. Let me also take a moment to address the broader economic context of April 2026, specifically because I think it matters deeply for how you think about your payment schedule. We are living in what I genuinely believe history will record as the year of affordability. And I say that not sarcastically, but as a real reflection of what is happening in households across this country. Prices for everyday essentials, food, gas, utilities, healthcare, and housing have remained stubbornly elevated compared to what most seniors budgeted for during their retirement planning. Interest rates have been shifting. The cost of prescription medications, even with Medicare coverage, remains a significant burden for many seniors. And in this environment, the Social Security payment schedule is not just an administrative detail, it is a lifeline. It is the rhythm around which millions of American households organize their financial survival. And when that rhythm is disrupted by a delayed payment or an unexpectedly shifted calendar, the ripple effects can be serious and immediate. That is why I will always take the time to break down these payment dates in full detail because you deserve to know exactly when your money is coming so you can plan accordingly. Something I also want to highlight for April 2026 that deserves special attention is the situation for survivor benefit recipients and spousal benefit recipients. If you are receiving Social Security benefits based on your deceased spouse's work record, you are a survivor beneficiary. If you are receiving benefits based on your current spouse's work record because your own benefit would be lower, you are a spousal beneficiary. And here's the important thing to understand. Your payment schedule follows the exact same birth date formula that I described earlier. Your payment date is determined by your own birth date, specifically the day of the month you were born. So whether you are getting a retirement benefit, a survivor benefit, or a spousal benefit, the schedule is the same. Birth dates the 1st through the 10th get paid on April 8th. Birth dates the 11th through the 20th get paid on April 15th. And birth dates the 21st through the 31st get paid on April 22nd. Unless you began benefits before May of 1997, or you have concurrent SSI and Social Security benefits, in which case your date is April 3rd. I just want to make absolutely certain that survivor and spousal beneficiaries know they are fully included in this schedule, and that the same favorable April calendar applies to them as well. For SSDI beneficiaries, Social Security Disability Insurance recipients, I want to speak directly to you for a moment as well. I know that navigating the disability benefit system in 2026 has its own set of unique challenges. The application process is notoriously difficult. Approval rates have been a topic of significant concern. And for those of you who are already approved and receiving SSDI, every payment matters deeply because disability often means you cannot supplement your income through additional work. The good news is that your April 2026 payment schedule follows the same birth date structure described above. SSDI is a form of Social Security benefit, and your payments go out on the same Wednesdays based on your birth date. So, if you are an SSDI recipient and your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, you are getting paid April 8th, the 11th through the 20th, April 15th, the 21st through the 31st, April 22nd. And if you were approved before May 1997, your date is April 3rd. Write it down. Plan around it. And if there is any delay or discrepancy in your payment arrival, I encourage you to contact the Social Security Administration promptly because SSDI beneficiaries in particular cannot afford to wait and wonder. I know that we have covered a massive amount of information in this video today, and I want to be completely honest with you about that. This is a lot of dates, a lot of categories, a lot of nuance, and a lot of context. Tell me which payment group you are in, how this April schedule is working for you, and whether there is anything specific you want me to cover in the next video. And finally, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button right now. It is completely free. It costs you nothing, and it ensures that every single time we publish new information about your benefits, your payment schedule, or anything else that affects your financial life, you are the very first to know. You deserve that. You have earned that. And this team is going to keep delivering it for you every single week without fail until the very next update. You take care of yourself, you look after one another.